ask everybody to stand for Northwest Cabarrus High School Air Force OTC. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I call on Pastor Bob Lovett from the Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Mount Pleasant. Thank you, Pastor Lovett. Step out. See if they have stepped out or if they're going to be approval of minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Next matter we have, okay. If y'all would please come forward and tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Corinne Smith. I'm a retired Senior Master Sergeant from the U.S. Air Force, and I'm currently the instructor at Northwest Cabarrus High School.
Thank you. You'll step over here. We have a pen for you. Thank you very much.
I'm Cadet Second Lieutenant Jonathan Braden. This is my third year in Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps at Northwest Cabarrus High School, and I'm a senior this year.
My name is Cadet Connor Holcomb. I'm a sophomore at Northwest Cabarrus High School. It's my first semester in ROTC.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.
I would call to the board's attention the agenda that we have before us. There's also some additions. We have an addition on the consent agenda, which is F6, an amendment to the 2010 budget ordinance. On G3 is a discussion about resolution approving the refinancing of the prior installment finance contract. And under L2 is closed session, is an additional closed session matter. Is there any changes that any board members would like to have at this time?
Make a motion be approved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to approve the agenda. We have a second. All in? Yes.
It's come to my attention that Mr. Blackwelder is not present tonight, and I think the sheriff would like to recognize him next month.
That'll be fine if we can table it until next month. Is there any problems with any board members to tabling that until? Okay. So we will table that until next month, which will be C1. All in favor of the agenda as is with the additions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Under C2 on page 96, it is our honor to present, recognize someone that's meant quite a bit to our county and specifically to the Allen Volunteer Fire Department. And I would call on Fire Chief Edwin Phillips to please come up, as well as Bobby, if you'll come up, and Commissioner Caruth has a plaque to give. And Bobby, if you can tell us a little bit of the importance of what Chief Phillips has done and why he should be recognized tonight, please.
Good evening. It's an honor and a privilege to be here at this time to recognize Chief Phillips on 37 and a half years of volunteer fire service, 28 years as fire chief. I know it's a bittersweet moment for the chief. It's a bitter moment for the county to lose someone with this much experience in this capacity and his dedication over the years to our citizens. Just as a side note, I kind of ran some numbers today, and had Chief Phillips actually been paid these years as a fire person,
We don't need that number.
it would have been close to $1 million in compensation over the 37 and a half years for the hours he has put in. That's one volunteer out of several hundred we have in this county, and we appreciate all our volunteers, but here's a prime example of somebody who puts their community first, and it is an honor to be here tonight.
Chief, I've not known you that long, but I've interacted with you over the years I've been on the Board of Commissioners, and I agree with what Bobby said. There's very few individuals in the community you can say that the sacrifice they make and the passion they have for this community, and I know that. I know that when you go, south of Concord down here, everybody tells you Ed Phillips given you talk to down there, and you've done a tremendous amount of service for this community, and we appreciate it. Your leadership, not just in the A.T. Allen community, but throughout the entire county when it comes to the fire services and our municipalities, as well as with our volunteer fire departments. And I know I've been in a couple meetings where you've been there, and it's your steady and influence has helped resolve issues and keep everybody moving forward and putting everybody on the same sheet of music. So I appreciate your work and your effort. And this plaque says that this is in recognition of your 37 years of dedicated service to the residents of Cabarrus County, retirement from the Allen Volunteer Fire Department, and it's from the Board of Commissioners dated October 19th, 2009. Got an open mic. You get your chance now. Here's your
Could I at least get a receipt for tax donation on that? I would like to thank all you commissioners. I've worked with some of you quite a while on there. Some of you are new faces to me. I mean, I've seen you. I know you're here, but I can see some that we've attended several meetings together in the past. And I would like to thank y'all for what you do for the county and what you do for the fire service of Cabarrus County. And just keep on doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna go do what I can. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Next matter we have is a presentation, recognition and presentation under C3 from Commerce Weatherization Day Proclamation, page 98. Mrs. Sifford.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Every October 30th, we celebrate Weatherization Day. We've been doing it for a number of years now, but this year is special. We are receiving a lot of stimulus money for this activity, and we did want to talk about it tonight to let everybody know that what we're doing with those funds and how to access those funds. With weatherization, we go into homes with a blower door and analyze the house, determine where air is infiltrating the home. We do air sealing, insulation, check heating and air systems to make sure they're working properly, and in some cases repair or replace appliances where they may be dangerous or inoperable. So having said that, Cabarrus County is expected to get over $1 million over the next 3 years for this activity. And so in doing that, we wanted to let everybody know how to access those funds, and you may call myself or Linda Cruz. My number is 704-920-2142, or you can reach Linda at 704-920-2192, and we'll get you, get anyone who's interested an application and try to get them qualified for the program.
The proclamation that you're asking for us to adopt says, whereas October is National Energy Awareness Month, and October 30th is designated as National Weatherization Day, and whereas the County of Cabarrus has a long-standing commitment to conserve its resources and to help low-income households through its Weatherization Assistance Program, and whereas the state of North Carolina has administered the Weatherization Assistance Program since its inception in 1976, providing a variety of state and federal resources through numerous community action agencies, housing authorities, and departments of local government that serve people in every county in the state. And whereas it is important to recognize the importance of those programs that ensure all residents, especially those living at or below the federal poverty level, have the opportunity to live in energy-efficient, healthy, safe, and comfortable homes as provided for by the Weatherization Assistance Program. Now, therefore, I, H.J. White, Sr., Chairman of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 30th, 2009, as Weatherization Day in the County of Cabarrus, and I urge all citizens to join me in this observance.
Make a motion to be approved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you so much.
Before we move off of recognitions, I'd like to welcome and thank Vice Chair Wayne Williams from the Cabarrus County School Board coming in to see our meeting. Thank you, sir. Under the informal public comments, I have no cards, so we will be moving on to, there is no old business under the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve
So
the consent?
moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Under G1 is the page 291, which is the update on I-85 widening and Pitt School Road realignment options. Mr. Day.
There was additional information added. If you'll go to the G1 supplemental information, pages 336 to 342, down at the bottom, if you checked your email, you would have seen that you received a report from, or a draft report from the Agriculture Advisory Board. Their findings on the realignment of or proposed realignment of Pitt School Road, which is part of the I-85 widening project, and two alternative routes. What is known as Alternative A, which takes a greater amount of land out of farm use, primarily on the Barbie farm, and B, which is in the same area, does have some effect on the Barbie property, but not nearly what option or Alternative A has. We discussed this at your agenda work session, and there was interest in seeing the report from the Agricultural Advisory Board. There is a letter included in here that's proposed for you to approve to be sent to the Department of Transportation, endorsing the findings of the Agricultural Advisory Board and requesting that the DOT employ option or Alternative B. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we authorize you to express our support for Alternative B.
And I'll second that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We have any discussion?
I noticed, and just for the add to it, that it's actually, Alternative B is actually, in fact, it's pretty much a wash. The cost of it is, the public knows that, and it's actually a little bit cheaper, about $125,000 cheaper for the, to go with alternate B. And then the other thing besides that is the farmland is also the fact that we have a very well-known popular restaurant out there that's going to be adversely affected as well if we go with the DOT option that they have proposed. So this will help keep those guys in business too.
Yeah. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next matter we have is G2, is an update on the new governmental office complex, and this is found on page 300. Mr. Downs.
Good evening. Just wanted, at the work session, the board requested some more detailed information for the purpose of the audience here. We are looking at an alternate location for the new Cabarrus County office complex that was to be located at the old fairgrounds. And the purpose of looking at other alternatives is the site costs that we're incurring or proposed to incur. So we are also looking at Afton Ridge, which is a commercial industrial office subdivision that's located off of Kannapolis Highway, International Business Park, which is located off of International Drive in Concord, Coldwater Ridge, which is located off Lake Concord Road in Kannapolis. Those are the three locations. I do have more detailed information that I would need. It's sensitive information as far as property values and offers for that we would need to discuss in closed session. So.
Are there any questions for Mr. Downs at this time?
Mr. Chairman, are we going to be most of the discussion in closed session about the alternative?
As long as yes, as it relates to the pricing.
So we can talk about other stuff now.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm just know that I've had discussions with you as well as Commissioner Poole about a couple of things, and I know that there was some concern expressed to us about, one of the departments, particularly I think the Board of Elections, about locating too far away from downtown, what that would do with their operation. And unfortunately, the communication didn't come directly to any of us. It came through third parties to us from the board. And I want to, point out that public understand if you're on an appointed board, whether it's appointed by the commissioners, appointed by the state, they have an open door to the Board of Commissioners, so they can call us up and feel free to call us up. Don't want them to do that. But I guess the only concern I had from hearing that was that if we do, one of the things I think going in our decision that before we make it, it's not just the development cost of the land or the symbolic thing of moving somewhere where it wants the development cost won't be such a high factor, but the fact too that we're do we need to look, does it make sense, the apartments we're going to be putting in the building, to move those out? Or is it, when we change the location of it, when it's close to downtown like it is at the fairgrounds, we know which departments we talked about targeted putting in there, but is it going to make sense to have those same departments in that building if you move it a ways out, say if you move it out to Afton Ridge, does it make sense to put some of the departments that we're putting in there to put them in that building out there versus what we would have done if we'd had them in the fairgrounds here? So that was that's what I thought about after our discussion the other night.
Well, I certainly think that whatever further information we have, we take all of it into consideration, and whether we make that decision tonight after we have all the information, or we make that decision after we have an opportunity to discuss it openly, if there's any other questions that we have, we can make that decision as soon as possible so that we can move forward with it. Any other questions for Mr. Downs? Any questions for Mr. Downs?
Need a little clarification. You said after we've discussed it openly, so when are we going to discuss that part of it openly?
Well, I mean,
tonight
I don't know.
Later?
In my mind, I don't know what's going to be presented in closed session.
Okay.
But before we make any vote on what we do, I think that obviously needs to be open. Okay. But we have to gain some of the
information. So that means we would, if we don't discuss certain areas of that, we would perhaps be waiting another
2 weeks, 3
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks, okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you. We have a new business item is G3, debt resolution at page 321. Mrs. Dubois.
Just wanted to bring this resolution before you this evening. We have been looking at refunding some certificates of participation that you authorized back in January of 2009. Working with the Local Government Commission, they have agreed to look at the 2001 COPS issues. They have a life of approximately 12 years, and the only way that we would actually refinance these certificates of participation is if the savings exceed 2.75%. So currently, we've watched the market go anywhere from $600,000 in savings all the way down to $16,000 in savings, and we will only do this if it is beneficial to the county. We will not extend the term of the debt, and it will just save us in the future debt service for the remainder of the year. So we're looking to bring that not to exceed $60 million to $27,535,000, and if the conditions are appropriate, we will move forward with that refinancing with your authorization.
Any questions for Mrs. Dubois?
I would like to move that we give Ms. Dubois the authorization to proceed with refinancing under the parameters that she's just discussed.
We have a motion, we have a second. We have any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Next is H1 is the appointments to the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee on page 301.
I'll make a motion that we appoint,
Ms. Carol Hovey.
Ms. Carol Hovey, friend of mine, to the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee
We
for
have
a one-year term
ending October 31st.
ending October 31st, 2010.
Sorry about that. We have
It's
a
okay.
motion. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
May I add one comment there? That particular activity is always in need of volunteers to participate. So if anyone is interested in that,
Yeah, that is the
would
Nursing Home
appreciate
Care,
them.
Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee. It's a very important committee because they actually go to nursing homes to check in on residents. And it's a very good committee and a good committee to be on, and I'd encourage anybody to step up and assist in that regards. We have under reports, on page 305 is the Harrisburg Area Land Use Plan Update Progress Summary. And Mrs. Morris is not here, but I believe that her capable assistant, Mr. Marshall, will be able to.
Our capable assistant will tell you that's a report for your information purposes. As you read that, if you have any questions, then either of us would be glad to answer them. But we'll just be providing those to you as we move forward on this plan to just keep you up to date on the activities. And of course, we have kind of a unique activity on that this Wednesday night, which is the Planning for Schools session that we made part of this overall process. So we look forward to seeing everyone there.
And the Wednesday night meeting is going to be held where?
It's in the multi-purpose room from 5 to 7, and there will be food.
And it's more to help both us and others to understand placement of schools and the significance of where schools are being placed and what that means to the surrounding communities.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. We have, finally, what Commissioner Minot brought up before. Another thing is all of the boards. We have several boards within the county, and I will commend those who have stepped up and wanted to help out in different areas. They certainly find a place for your for an area that you're interested in. The Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee is what we just talked about. There's an Animal Preservation and Protection Advisory Committee, the Concord Planning and Zoning Commission, ETJ, the Criminal Justice Partnership Program Advisory Board, the Industrial Facilities and Pollution Control Financing Authority, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee, and Region F Asian Advisory, as well as the Transportation Advisory Board. I would encourage anybody that finds any of these interest to contact us at our website is www.cabarruscounty.us, and it's under Commissioners, Boards, and Committees, or you may contact the clerk at 920-2109. It's very important, and we've gotten a lot of response, and we'd certainly appreciate any other responses because it is important. With that, the last matter that I have on our agenda is two closed session matters. Are there any general comments by the board members?
Mr. Chairman, just one thing. I noticed the unemployment rate in Cabarrus County is now 11.4%, which exceeds the national unemployment rate. And I think that as the county manager and staff when they begin work on our next year's budget, needs to keep in mind this large number of folks that are unemployed, and that does not include those that are not even looking for a job now, since their unemployment compensation is already run out. So that's, I think, some food for us to put in the back of our minds as we look to next year's budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Privet. Any other comments? With that, do we have a motion to go into closed session to discuss threatened or pending litigation and discuss matters related to location or expansion of business in the area served by this body, as well as this other, thought there was another one here.
Establish or instruct the public body negotiating.
Yes.
Featuring the price contract purchase of land.
To establish or instruct the public body staff or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken on behalf of the public body in negotiating the price and other material terms of a contract or proposed contract or the acquisition of real property by purchase, option, exchange, or lease.
So
We have
moved,
that
Mr. Chairman.
motion. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
30 minutes. That sets a record, doesn't it? 30 minutes.
We'll try to keep